go back to the movie first. I would.
Oh,
Because your
yeah.
story begins in the film. Your story, Sarah's story, because the opening shot of the O'Neills in their house is she standing by the window, and the Air Force is coming in to reactivate him to send him on his first mission, and the kid's death is fresh, and he's literally in the kid's bedroom holding the gun in his hand, contemplating killing himself. And that's what you guys picked up from in the movie. We're obviously a year later, you know. She's dealt with a huge bulk of this grief and is beginning to move on. Her dad's there with her fixing the vehicle, you know. And then Jack just shows up, you know, out of the blue and asks about his son. And your reaction is perfect. It's like, what do you mean where do you expect Charlie is to be? Having no idea that he's an alien.
Right. He says things that are odd. But I don't stop to pursue him because just the emotional reality of him there after all this time and all the stuff that's gone on sort of overwhelms everything else, except for those moments of, wait, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. What the heck is happening here? I'm delighted that you love it.
I can't believe it. And I only knew... I guess I only remembered my part of it. Well, because I wasn't watching the show. Of course, the show hadn't premiered yet. So all I really got was episode 6. Like that was the script I had when I was acting in it. And whatever I knew about what happened earlier, it's like reading a summary of something. It's not the same. So you read and you go, okay, and spaceship and whatever, and aliens, whatever. All I really cared about was my emotional reality as this woman who lost her little boy and whose husband then couldn't deal with it, you know, like taciturn Irish guy takes off.
Actually, she divorced him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh,
but still.
But still. And then
I mean, they divorced each other, but she left. Yeah.
Okay, but it says they're separate. Like
That's
somebody
true.
in the show says, but they're separated. Also, I should have gone back. Was she wearing her wedding ring still?
I didn't look for that detail.
There's a shot somewhere.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I saw a flash of something and I thought, that's an interesting choice. Why would I still have a wedding ring on? And then I thought, well, maybe we're just separated and not divorced. But, oh, sorry. Was that?
No, you're fine.
Noise. Okay. All right. Cool.
Welcome to my world. Here, there's noises
too. Okay. So, but okay. Thank you. This makes sense. Now I'm because as I was watching last night and I was so taken up with everybody else's stuff in the episode, not just, you know, my story, which is a very actor-like response. Or, you know, where's my line? Where's my scene? But I was so taken in by the other characters and what they were doing, and then trying to think, well, wait, what's up with this guy? And I'm sure when I was on the set, things were explained to me in great depth. Like, okay, here's the story. This is your husband. You haven't seen him in a year, but he's an alien. But then later in the episode, it's the real guy. And you're not really coming to grips with the fact that he's an alien, but he's saying they must have filled me in a lot, right?
I don't know.
But
maybe it would have been better to leave you clueless. I mean, because she doesn't have access to this information.
That's right. But they would have said,
yes.
Where's Charlie? That's weird.
Yeah, that's true.
And he says this, that's weird. So because, you know, you could see it in Sarah's reactions, like just those little moments of, okay, I don't know what that's about, but let's get back to the, you know, stay on point here.
Right.
There was so much that they wrote into that. It was really compelling and, very moving. And then it got me so curious, like, well, what is up with these people and what's the story? And how is it that there's a doppelganger, a double of himself, an avatar?
Exactly right.
And then how does my son just metamorphose out of Like, what's up with that? The only thing that I found, if I were to do it now, I would have raised my hand and said, okay, somebody explain this to me, because this doesn't make sense. If a mother loses a 9-year-old child and the child miraculously appears in front of her, like a 3D, like she can actually touch his hand. I don't care how much she loves her husband and how compelling that relationship is. I don't think she would take her eyes off that child until they take him away, even knowing that he's not real, even knowing that. I think the grief and the longing for someone who's dead is, to me, that overpowers every other response. And so in the end, like, I take I have a really, a moment with him, but then I turn my focus back to Jack, and it's all about the two of us. That was the only thing that I thought, I'm not sure. I think I stared at that child until he disappeared.
Yeah. And what mothers would have let him disappear?
Yes.
At the same time, it's like some people, I mean, so you say he's not real. Okay. You're asking me to take this on faith. He's right here in front of me. He's been gone for a year. He sounds and smells and looks like him. I'm not leaving.
And why can't I hug him?
Why can't I hug him? Yeah. Yeah. That's, oh gosh.
I would not be holding my child's hand. You know how you are after your kid's been gone for, to summer camp for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Were you a parent at that point?
No. Okay. No. Mm-mm.
So having since been, would have likely informed your eye line and like everything. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm curious as to whether I made that choice or whether that was a directorial choice. And it could, let's be real. Richard's the star of the show.
Yeah.
So, as a writer and as you focus everything toward he's the one that the audience needs to follow, not the little boy who's an alien, and not me, who's never going to show up again. It's Richard. So everything needs to be,
centered on him for sure.
I understand that as being in the TV world, but just as an emotional reality, I would second guess that choice on my part. Yeah.
Such a big component of this show is the duality of the world in which these paramilitary officers and enlisted live. And they have to balance their life on base with the knowledge that there is a portal to other worlds and an active alien threat knocking on our door against people who are going about their daily lives in their daily loops, getting up, getting coffee, going to work, coming home, seeing their kids and going to bed. And
fixing their car.
This is important. And our experience with Sarah was one of the first times that we saw outside of the base. This is very early on in the show. And to be frank, it only gets better. Where we're dealing with, I have to be off world at, 0900, but my father has cancer and I have to get back and see it. Those are elements that come into play later on in the series. And they work so well together because, what if you just stumble across a piece of alien technology or something that can cure that parent of that cancer?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, what do we do with this? Do my own personal interests come into play here? What am I willing to sacrifice for my own personal? That's not exactly what happens later, but we are dealing with those questions as we watch the show, while they're trying to have some semblance of a normal life and deal with extraordinary situations. It's one of the best aspects of the show for taking place in the here and now because it's completely relatable. Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.